Hey everyone, Chris here, back for another video, and this video is going to be a reaction video. So this is going to be a video of Christopher Mitchell. He's doing an interview on a channel called Business Bros Pod, and this video is titled, "Does Get Rich Quick Really Exist?" with Christopher Mitchell. All right, so some of you guys know he was my gambling coach. I was in his private inner circle for about a year. Learned a lot of things. Changed my life, how I look at things, how table games work with games, how to approach it differently with different strategies and the mindset and the bankroll and all this other stuff, which he will probably get into this. So yeah, let's dive into it and let's see what they got to say.
Boom! Ladies and gents, we're on to another episode of the Business Bros. Haven't done a 4 p.m. spot in a while, but here we are anyways, ready to rock and roll. For those of you who are in the gambling space or you're trying to make some money, this episode is for you. Curious to find out how? Let's do it. Here we go.
Shut up and sit down.
Look, a business can give you everything you want in life. Prestige, wealth, freedom. It can also take everything away from you. This show is for those who are willing to take that risk. These are the real life stories of entrepreneurs. But before we start, I have one small favor to ask. Please leave a comment. It can be advice, critiques, tips, feedback, or share this with someone because your engagement is the most valuable and most powerful form of social currency. So thank you, and welcome to another episode of Business Bros. All right, ladies and gents, look, there are a few people who have lived up to the title of the GOAT. And today's guest is here to share with us why he has that title. In today's world, it's hard to trust get-rich-quick ideas. However, today's guest is sharing with us how he did it. I'm curious to find out his method and how he is helping people change their lives with his process. So let's get ready to meet the GOAT himself, Mr. Christopher Mitchell. And it's a party every time this podcast starts. Chris, welcome to the program, man.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I'm super happy to be here.
All right, man, let's start off with some of the obvious stuff. Get rich quick schemes, man. Gambling right off the bat sounds sketch, man. Sounds sketch. Tell me a little bit about your background. How'd you get into this space? What are you doing today?
I grew up dead broke, like a lot of people. My dad cheated on my mom when I was a baby. My mom got custody of me and my brother. She died when I was 9. My dad regained custody of me and my brother. He was violently abusive, kicked me out of the house when I was 15, and I became homeless. My whole life I wanted to be rich, so I started 25 different businesses throughout my lifetime, pretty much failed at all of them. And I got into network marketing. That helped me change my mindset a lot. It's where I finally met some multimillionaires, and I took a trip to Las Vegas for a business conference. And while I was there, I stayed at a casino, and as they say, the rest is history.
All right, tell me about it, man. I want to know where you at today. When it comes to that story of the gambling life, I had a long time where I played poker for a while, and I had great days. And I talked to a lot of different gamblers, and they always talk about some bad beats. They always talk about some big drops, but they don't ever mention the struggles of what it's like to actually become a gambler. What was your experience like there?
I hit rock bottom. So I was in network marketing for 10 years. I pretty much made it to the top of the company I was with, started making some good money, started traveling. And while I was at the top of this company, traveling every month, doing the hotel meetings, I discovered gambling. I immediately fell in love with gambling, got addicted to it right away, and pretty much gambled my entire life savings away in the first 6 months. So I ended up selling literally everything that my wife and I owned. We lost our home, we lost our cars, ended up sleeping on a guy's couch. Everyone around me is telling me I'm an idiot, I'm a loser, what are you doing? We had a baby on the way, but I knew gambling was math. And because I was great at math, I knew there was a way to beat the casinos. I just hadn't figured it out yet. And my wife gave me an ultimatum, and I said, listen, go to the casino with me just one time, and if I don't win today, on that day, I'll give it up forever. Thankfully, I made $800 in 30 minutes. She was a nurse in the emergency room. It would have taken her several 16-hour day shifts to make that. She said, okay, I see what you see. You have my blessing, but we have a baby due in about 60 days. You better make this work. And that was 3 years ago. And since then, I've become a millionaire, paid off all the debt, and life has never been the same.
And you did that all with gambling?
All with gambling. Gambling is the only source of income that I had in the beginning. And once I started to develop some winning tips, rules, and strategies, I then started winning day after day. The bets started getting bigger. The profits started getting bigger. And I also started a YouTube channel at the same time. So that started building a following. So gambling has now opened a lot of other doors for me. So now gambling is just one of about 7 different income sources that I had, but everything started from gambling.
All right, so okay, so you're making some money gambling. I mean, you literally hit rock bottom. You started your career now after one day that you make $800. Like, tell me about this strategy that you have, because I'd imagine anybody who's consistently winning at a casino, like over a long period of time. I mean, what are you playing that you got to that level? Because statistically speaking, every game over the long haul at a casino, you're gonna end up losing at some percentage point, right? Blackjack probably has the best odds compared to like roulette, for example, has pretty crappy odds when it comes to winning. So what's the strategy? Like, what did you do to crack the code and not get yourself kicked out of these casinos?
Well, it's what I call a recipe for success. It's not just one single ingredient. You know, everybody can make an amazing cheesecake if they just follow Sara Lee's recipe. But what most people do, in this podcast to be more specific, gamblers, they need to follow my entire recipe, every single ingredient that I put in. And most people, they don't want to do that. They think they've got their own way. So what I've done is, this recipe, it entails with a certain amount of time of staying in the casino. You need to get in and you need to get out quick. You need to have a big bankroll. Most people, they don't have a big bankroll. They'll go into a casino with $500 with a goal to try to make $5,000. What I do is teach them how to look at things differently, retrain their brain, go into a casino with $5,000 with a goal to simply make $500. It's little things like that, but it's all those little ingredients that make up a successful recipe.
So what? All right, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm skeptical. I am a huge skeptic when it comes.
Okay, let's stop right there. So basically, these secret ingredients, there's a way to do it, right? There's, just like he was talking about food, there's different types of food. You can change a little bit, but some of these players, they're used to doing things their way, and sometimes trying to change your old habits is hard. And some people can do it and some can't. So there is a secret ingredient. There's if you go to his, if he becomes your teacher, he'll explain everything that you got to do, and you got to practice it, right? So there's 3 things that he teaches. There's 3 different things. First, you got to have a bankroll, right? If you watch his videos, he's always explaining about the bankroll. That's like the key thing. If you don't have a big bankroll, it's even harder to win at these games long term. Okay, so I was in the inner circle for a year, and the main thing I needed was the way I needed to think. What he's talking about. I thought I knew what I was doing, but when I got under his guidance and learn his rules, strategies, and tips, and then I had to practice those to where it became part of my game, the way I play. So, staying too long, when to get in, when to get out, what games to play, what gives you the best odds. Now, roulette, it depends how you play it. If you play it, there's certain ways to play it. There's a safe way to play it to where it gives you a better chance to win. But there's a bad way to play it to where you're betting small money hoping to win that big bet. Yeah, there's 2 different ways to play it, but he teaches you how to play it a safer way, a better chance to make money, to play and get in and get out, to make your percentage. Now, what he teaches about the mindset is how to think like a millionaire versus, what a everyday person wants to be, like a lottery mindset, where they want to risk a little to win the big one. You know, they want to change. They want to take in $300, trying to make 800 or 1,000, which it can be done, but long term, you know, it's hard to win $300. You know, if you don't have their skills. So, yeah, let's continue on. But that's basically what he's talking about.
To a lot of these types of activities, mainly because, dude, casinos are huge business. They're designed to have you come in. So I get the theory on that, right? I mean, when I was playing poker, I'd go in with like $400 or $500. I'd sit at the table, and my goal was to make $200. If I made $200 that day, didn't matter if I made it in one hand the moment I sat down, I was done for the day. I made my money, I was out, right? Or I would lose that amount, and then I'd go to my bankroll, start over the next day. And it was a simple process. And it's sometimes you were sitting on the table for a long time, and and it just wouldn't happen for you, right? Other times you had great days and they were fantastic. You'd cash out, you'd be done really quick. So like coming in with $5,000 to a casino, that is freaking scary for most people, because their rent isn't even $5,000, right? So how are you stretching this? How are you making this even possible for people?
Well, exactly what you said is true. And you're one of the rarities in gambling. See, you had the right mindset when you were playing poker. You'd walk in with 500, wanting to make a goal of a couple hundred. That's not how most people think when they go into a casino. And unlike poker, where you're playing other players, craps, roulette, blackjack, baccarat, those games you're not playing other players, you're playing against the casino. So yes, the casinos do have a slight edge, but that slight edge turns into a big edge when people go in with one of the cardinal sins of gambling, and that is greed. They're trying to get rich quick. I've never tried to get rich quick. I had the same mindset that you had playing poker. I just want to get my daily pay. Now for me, now that I'm a millionaire and I've got a massive bankroll, my minimum bets sometimes are $1,000, so I can easily make $5,000 in a day. But again, most people, they go in with a small bankroll, they're trying to make a lot of money, and greed takes over, and that's why they lose.
So, okay, so let's say somebody does want to work with you, Chris. They're like, okay, look, this gambling thing, this sounds awesome, right? This guy claims I have this great strategy. They go in. What does it cost somebody to even like be part of your program? And what do you do when people join your program and have bad luck? Because that's going to happen. You're going to have bad luck when you're gambling. That stuff happens. And say you lose $4,000, $5,000. How do they recoup that?
Well, the first thing is, I tell people, until you're rich like I am, you shouldn't even be thinking about walking into an actual brick and mortar casino. You need to stay home and play online. And the reason why is because you don't need a lot of money to stay home and play online, because the minimum bet is 50 cents. So that's what I teach people how to do who join my elite coaching program, which is only $500 a month, which I do give them a 100% money back guarantee if they don't make at least $500 a month using my tips, rules, and strategies. But with that, I have single moms. I have divorcees. I have retirees, 75-year-olds. I have every type of person you can think of, white, black, young, old, male, female, inside my elite coaching club from all over the world. And they all have success as long as they follow my recipe to success. And again, that starts with staying home and playing online, because you don't need a big bankroll, because you can get started by playing just 50-cent minimum bets.
Okay, so now this video was 11 months ago, so it's been almost a year. I got into it before it was 500. When he first started, it was a one-time payment, lifetime payment. You just pay one price and you're in the inner circle for life. But a lot of people couldn't afford $1,000. And so people kept asking, hey, can you lower the price? Well, he lowered to 500. You know, I've been watching his videos. He had a YouTube channel. I was watching it, and you know, I've been a casino player, for a long time. So I knew he knew what he was talking about, but I didn't know how well he was, doing. You know, he's talking about, I'm a millionaire and this stuff like that. And there's a reason why he says that. And there's a lot of stuff he says, there's a reason behind it. But when you get in the inner circle, you'll know more why he says it. So when I got into it, he lowered the price to down, it was 300, and then it got down to 250. I'm like, okay. And now I've seen a lot of stuff. I've heard people like, oh, he's a loser, he's a scammer, he doesn't know what he's doing. And then I've seen videos where he does well, and I'm like, I'm the only way I'm going to find out if this guy is legit is to get in there and find out what is really going on. What is actually up with this? So I paid the $250 one time, and I got in there and I messaged him. I said, hey, I'm going to get into the inner circle. I'll be sending. Where do I send the payment? So he told me where to send it. Soon as I sent it to him, I was in the club within 30 seconds. Bam! It was immediate. It was a YouTube page. It's private. Go in there. I met some people. I was reading all the posts. People talking about they're winning this, they're winning that, they're doing, they're breaking things down. And then so I read the some of the tips, rules, and stuff. And so, all right, let me try it. The first time I tried it, I won. X amount of dollars. That's okay, all right. So I tried it again, and it won again. I'm like, okay. And then so I'm like, all right, this is legit. I'm talking to people that telling me what's up, and hey, I'm this person. I've been in this for this amount. I'm like, all right, I like these people. So, I keep playing, and then I lost. I'm like, man, how did I lose? I mean, this system's great. Well, that's when I come to find out that every system works until it doesn't. And then there's more. You got to know more systems. It's not just one system. So, when you lose, you learn. So yeah, it's just. But yeah, if you follow his rules, tips, and strategy and apply it to you, and to be a gambler, you gotta want to be a gambler. Yeah, you want to play these games, and it's not for everybody. And there's people come and gone. They find out it's harder than it is, and it is hard. And when you first try it, you are going to lose. But there's, it's all practice. Knowing when to get in, when to get out, learn different strategies, apply. You can create your own, right? And it's fun, right? So he teaches us to play online because you don't need a lot of money. It's all practice, 50 cents, $1, make $3, make $5. Just start small. Just get that confidence going. And then a year later, after you keep practicing, you go to his meetings, go to the classes, and then, you just get better. And then, you start seeing results. But if you don't believe in it, and it's not going to work for you. So if you have this mindset like, oh, you can't beat the casinos always win, then, you don't have the right mindset. You're thinking wrong. Because you can win at these games. Now, are you going to make millions? Probably not. But it's all about making money. Just supplement your income. I mean, just win small. You don't have to win big. If you want to be one of those players, I mean, I'm not one of those players. I don't need to win 30,000 in one night. I just want to go to casino, do well, do what I got to do to make some money. I don't want to go down there and show up for just to goof off and if you want to be those players, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I want to win. And I got tired of casinos kicking my butt all the time, and because I thought I knew what I was doing, but nope, guess not, because I didn't have the right mindset. I didn't have the right strategies, and I'm playing different money management strategies versus another place betting strategies that didn't go together. And you're going to learn that as time goes on, that some strategies don't work with certain money management styles. So all that stuff you're going to learn once you get under his guidance and his classes. You're going to learn all that stuff. It is so much to learn. You think it's just one strategy, and it's not. I mean, it takes time. And some of these guys have been in there for they're finally clicking after 2 years. I mean, especially if you haven't gambled at all and you're fresh. It's going to take you some time, and you gotta be willing to do the homework. And a lot of these people, they just can't adjust. So a lot of people can't do it. It's not them. It's either they want it or they think they want it until they try it, and then they just can't apply it. And it's just for special people, I believe. It's just, you gotta want to be a great gambler. And when he stumbled across craps, it lit a fire under him. He was like, this is what I want to do. It's one of those things that, people come across stuff that, hey, I didn't know this existed, or I didn't know I could do this, and now I can. And he worked hard for it, but he learned the hard way. He went the long way. I mean, he learned everything by himself. He didn't do YouTube. He didn't watch nothing. He just figured it out within 6 months and going broke. But he didn't give up. And that's the thing you got to do. You can't give up if you want to be an elite player. And I believe I'm one of the elite players because I pretty much win 90%, over 90% of my sessions. And if I do lose, I want to know why, what happened, what can I do better, because you're either going to win, or you're going to learn. And sooner or later, you're going to learn so much where you rarely lose. And you know all that money you put into this, you're going to get it back later, down the road, maybe 3 to 5 years later. It all depends how hard you work at it. So, anyways, I'm going to continue the video, but that's what you got to do. That's where it starts.
All right, but even then, you start off with the 50-cent minimum bets. If we're using the same logic you had before, 5,000 to make 500, right? We're knocking off 2 zeros. We're talking about 50-cent bets to make like half a penny. Like I mean, I don't get it, man. Like where's the logic here? Help me.
Okay, he kind of misunderstood what he's talking about. So yeah, 50-cent bets, you can start with $100. And with 50-cent bets, that's $100 a big bankroll if you're playing 50-cent dollar bets. I mean, you can stretch it, Yeah, if you have $500 playing $1, yeah, now you got some room to play with, So, yeah, $500 playing 50 cents. I mean, you're stretching it really well. I mean, it's going to be hard to lose if you're doing a martingale or different other strategies. But there's many different money management strategies. But yeah, if you got $500, you could start with $1 or $2. You don't have to play 50 cents. But yeah, just to make a few bucks, think about like a millionaire. Just say, hey, I just want to win 5%. Well, if you got $500, you want to make 5%. All you got to do is win 25. I mean, with $500 bankroll, 25 is not, that's pretty easy. 3%, $15. Play $5, just win $5 3 times. There you go. There's your $15. And slowly grow it in sessions. And that's what he does. He breaks it down. How do you think about it? Change the way you're doing things. And yeah, you'll start seeing success.
Figure it out. I try to make it as simple as possible. Like I'm in marketing, right? And one of the things we talk about when we create marketing campaigns is you should be able to pitch this so a 5th grader could understand it, right? If a 5th grader could understand it, then you have a system that could be scalable. So my concern is twofold. One, help me make the numbers make sense. And then 2, like, this is still gambling. So even if you teach somebody to do it and you give them back their $500, what about the $5,000 that they lost? What about the potential bad habits that you can get into, the addictive personality of gambling? Like, how do you counteract that?
Well, here's the thing. All I can do is teach you how I became successful. Again, that's why I created my recipe for success. Think of it like this. People will pay $100,000 to go to a 4-year college, but yet most people, statistically proven, they drop out of college. They never achieve their degree. Now, is that the college, the university's fault, or the individuals? Same thing here. Think of me as the gambling university. I can give you all the tools, the tips, the rules, the strategies, but it's up to you to follow my recipe. And I promise you, this is why I give a 100% money back guarantee. I know it works because I've been doing this day after day for 3 years now. As long as you don't deviate from what I teach you, you will have success. And I also know that most people are not rich like me. They're not millionaires. They don't have a massive bankroll. They can't afford to take a second mortgage out on their house to gamble with. So that's why I say, listen, start with 100 or $500, whatever you have, and we'll play small. What I teach them is just make 3 to 5% per day. So for example, if someone has $100, they're not going to try to make 500. They're going to try to just make $3 to $5 just so they can start programming their mind on what it's like to win every single day.
All right, so how do I do that? What do I need?
Exactly what I was just saying. You got to break it down to small percentages, and that's what's going to grow your confidence. It's like, hey, I just won 3%. Just a little bit. That's winning. You being the casino. If you're making profit, you're being a casino. You don't have to make millions. I mean, once you get better at it, you'll start, instead of making $3, $5, now you're making $25, $50 a session. And you just grow it. And when you get to his status, where he's going to casino now, this now 2023 of November. So now he's going to casino with 50,000. Now he has the bankroll to make 5,000 a session if he wants. I mean, do that 2-3 times a day. I mean, you're making 15,000, 20,000 a day. I mean, once you make those big bets, you just got to win 2 or 3 times and you're done. You can make that within 10 minutes. Who would like to make $3,000 in 10 minutes if you got the big bankroll? But you got to start at the beginning. And at the beginning, maybe if you only got $200, well, you start with $200. You got to make $6. Just practice short sessions, making a profit, and you're done. And it's just practice over and over and over until it becomes part of you. And it changes the way how you look at things, how to break things down. I mean, it's great. And a lot of these people don't believe it because they didn't give it a shot. I mean, I gave it a shot. I'm like, oh, I'm paying $250. And then after a while, he said, all right, let's do $100 a month. And that's cheap, what you're learning. I'm blessed to do it when it was cheap. Now it's like $400 a month. And that's still cheap. Once you get it down, I mean, you'd be able to make that $400 within a few days. Once you get it down, it might take you 2 weeks at first. I mean, you start making profit, just learn. It's all about learning. It's like he's talking about. It's like an education, like a university. What do you want to do? You want to be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, a teacher? Pay the price to learn and become what you want to do. And then forever, you'll be able to do that as a career. And you don't have to do this full time. You can just do it whenever, like maybe 3 times a week or something. You don't have to do it every day. I mean, he likes to do it every day. I don't. I do it whenever, when I can. And I do it online. I mean, whenever. But I just want to be good at something. I enjoy doing this. And you got to tell yourself, is this what I want to do? And it's a great retirement thing. Imagine when you're like 60, 70, you just go down to the casino and make $20-$25 or $50 or whatever to supplement your income, your retirement. I mean, whatever. I mean, it's up to you what you want to do. And if this is what you want to do, Christopher Mitchell is the guy who can teach you how you want to be this. And then that's what I did. I say, I want to try. I want to see if this guy's legit. And he is legit. Right? And don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to them. Right? Because I experienced it. They didn't. Maybe one of them tried to do it and then found out they just couldn't do it. But I don't know that's for sure. I don't know who all the haters are. But anyways, let's get back to it. So yeah, he might be a misunderstanding, like 50 cents, making a percentage of 50 cents. No, that's not where he's talking about. The 50 cent is the minimum bet that the casino allows on certain games, and then you can go up from there. So, but yeah, the casino online is probably where you want to start if you want to play real money, just to get a feel of it. But I think first you need to learn the games, and then there's free apps. There's free apps you can try it, just get a feel of it, and then just see if it's something that you might want to do.
Need to do? What's my strategy here, right? Everybody has a strategy, but again, even you got to beat the system, right? Because over the long haul, right? Okay, here's the thing: slot machines, for example, they say they pay out 98% of the time, which they do. They just don't always pay out 100% of your bet. That's the issue, right? Blackjack, you have a 48% chance of winning, which means over the long haul, you're going to lose your money 2% at a time. Right, so over the long haul, for me, these numbers can't, and then depending on the other games you pay, right, the odds are completely different. So what's your strategy, man? How do you buck the system so that I can confidently say I can walk away with me plus 2 to 3%, like the casinos are winning 2 to 3% of the money that you're putting into these slot machines over time?
So it's quite simple. And again, like I said in the beginning, gambling is all about math. And if somebody simply has first grade math skills, they can beat the casino. Of course, they also need some discipline, knowing when to get up and when to leave. So what happens is I've created something called the Mitchell Gale, named after myself, Christopher Mitchell, the Mitchell Gale betting system. So yes, the casinos always have a slight edge. However, that doesn't mean you can't beat them. So what happens is most people, they do what's called flat betting. So let's take somebody, let's say a single mom, for example. They deposit $100 online so they can start with tiny little bets. And let's say they place a 50-cent bet and they lose. So what I teach them is you need to double or triple the next bet. So when you do get a win, you recoup your losses and gain profit. So really quickly, let me explain. Let's say you place a 50-cent bet online and you lose. Your next bet, you'll double it to $1. If you lose that bet, you double it to $2. If you lose that bet, you double it to $4. If and when you win your $4 bet, you recouped your previous 3 losses, plus you gain 50 cents in profit. You then start back over at 50 cents, and you just keep doing that. It's wash, rinse, and repeat over and over and over. And that's how I went from dead broke to millionaire literally in 3 years.
And this isn't blackjack?
All right, so he's talking about the martingale. Now, martingale is a scary money management. It works, but it is scary if you don't know when to use it and how to use it, right? So the regular martingale, just like he says, you place a bet. Let's say $1, you lose. Then you bet $2, right? And then you lose. You bet $4, then you lose. And you lose. You win bet $8, and then 16. Okay, you win 16. You recoup everything plus $1, right? So you did all that work and you made $1. Well, that doesn't make sense to do. It's just the risk versus reward isn't there. And so he'll teach you how to martingale a better way. Yeah, now it may cost more money, but you're there to make a profit, to short term. You're there just to make your money, make the percentage of your goal, whatever your goal is, make it in your session, right? So he comes up with the Mitchell-Gale, which the Mitchell-Gale is originally called the Grand Martingale, right? There's a triple, there's different martingales. So when you get in here, he'll teach you how to, based on what you're working with, based on what your bankroll is, he'll teach you how to set up like different levels of betting, where you can make a decent amount, make it your risk versus reward there, so that way you can make profit and in your session, and then that will grow your confidence, saying, hey, I can do this. Now, are you going to win every time? Well, it depends on your place betting. Martingale works every time if you have the right place betting down. And there's certain place betting, it works until it doesn't work. And so as you get experience, you're going to know different strategies to know when to stop, when to sit out, when to do this, when to play that. It takes time to learn all that. And once you practice all these different strategies, then you're going to know what works where, and what, if it's chopping, if it's streaking, if roulette ball's doing this and the cards are doing that. And it just takes time, and it's hard at first. But if you never give up, you can be his status or my status. A lot of elite members that's been in his group for a couple years, and then we're making money pretty much at will, because the experience that we have. It's scary at first, but we overcame our fears. He teaches you how to deal with fears, your thought process. I mean, it's just like, it's like a college. There's so much to it. And it's worth every penny if this is what you want to be. If you want to be a good, great gambler, go to casino and able to know that you have the edge going in there because of your knowledge, and you know what to do to make your profit and go. Now, you don't have to leave. I mean, just in your session, take a break, come back and do it again. Let's say you make $30. Well, do that 5 times throughout the day. You make $150. I mean, $150 is pretty good money for a day. Especially if it takes you 4 hours to do it. I like to make $150 for 4 hours. That's pretty good. So just break it down and you start small. If you're new, if you've been watching this channel, it's Goat Life Baby now. I think it's Goat Life. Yeah, Goat Life Baby is his channel. It's now. It was Christopher Mitchell, and things changed. But just go check out his channel if you just want to just see his work and what he talks about. All right, let's get back to it. This is fun.
Okay, that's a great question. I started my gambling career playing craps. That didn't go so well. I transitioned to blackjack. It went a little bit better, but still not great. Then I went to baccarat and roulette. So now the games that I play 99% of the time are baccarat and roulette.
Baccarat and roulette, and I have no idea how to play those. Chris, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, man. As we're live streaming here, you're getting a lot of questionable comments off of YouTube. People are not always 100% happy, and as I'm watching them pop up here, I mean, dude, it's kind of making me worried a little bit, because again, the stuff that I'm reading here that's popping up online, and I don't know if I want to post it because I have people's names on them, but these are people who lost money. Like, I know people who lose money at a casino. And again, I agree with you with the analogy of, you don't graduate from college. It's not the university's fault. That's your fault, right? You didn't stick to the program. I understand that. You knew you were going to the casino. You were gambling money. I get that, right? But as a business model, that's got to be kind of difficult to deal with. When you have somebody who deviates just a little bit from your model, doubles down, adds some extra bet, kind of goes a little, that one extra step. I want to go one more. I know I can reach that one more double. They can really lose a lot of money. And that really reflects bad on the business owner that is teaching them that sort of stuff, right? I mean, how do you deal with people who maybe deviate a little bit? As a coach, as a mentor, right? People make mistakes in business all the time. It does cost them money all the time. But with gambling, I feel it has such a different feel to this. Like, I'm wondering, how do you deal with people who end up losing that, who feel like what you've done is allowed them an opportunity to, yeah, you took a risk and you could make money, but they ended up losing. How do you deal with those people?
Well, the thing is, I do the best that I can to help as many people as I can. But again, just like the university, most people, they're not going to graduate with a degree. Now, again, it's not my fault. And I also tell people the truth from the very beginning. Gambling professionally like I do, it is extremely difficult. Most people who walk into a casino, they are not going to make money, let alone get rich like I did. It takes a very special individual who has a lot of discipline. Now, again, I will provide them with winning tips, rules, and strategies to follow, but I can't make them drink. It's like you can take the horse to the water. I can't make them drink. All I can do is prepare them and teach them what has allowed me to be successful. It's up to them whether they choose to follow it or not.
I agree with that, man. So I do podcasting, and I try to tell people all the time, I learned it from Gary Vee. If you had a business, you got to start a podcast, dude, because it's the way to start building a brand for yourself. You get to meet all kinds of different people, all doing all kinds of different things, but they don't always listen because it takes that little bit of effort, it takes the work to actually do this stuff, to put it on a regular basis. However, when I do bring a client on, or when I started producing my stuff, I like to show and post my results, right? These are the results I've gotten. Like for today, I got a Spotify does the wrap up at the end of the year. So I screenshotted some of the data that they sent over, and I'm gonna create those as posts. I feel like when you have a business like this, you have to have a ton of transparency. For people to 100% believe you, you gotta be able to track and see your reports. Is there a way for you to like actually see or show clients on a regular basis, look, this is my wins for the days, these are my losses for the days, these are my online results for the day? Like, are there case studies that we can look at, or is it just like we're kind of, unfortunately, it's like, when you talk to a gambler, they're literally telling you, hey, I had a big win today, I had a big loss today, I'm up a little bit, I'm down a little bit, but what about the actual results? Do we get to see some of that?
Absolutely. So that's why I started playing online as well, because that's where I can actually film myself playing live with real money. So on my YouTube channel, I have literally posted hundreds of videos of me playing live blackjack, live baccarat, live roulette for real money, so they can see me when I win, when I lose, when I dig myself into a hole, which you will see on video, and they will see how I get myself out of a hole. I have also been completely honest and transparent in all my YouTube videos that, listen, when I started gambling, I went $500,000 in debt. This was not easy. Everybody thought I was crazy. I even questioned my own sanity at times. But hey, I didn't give up. I paid the price, and I actually learned on how to do this. But again, for most people, even people that come to me and join my coaching club, they're probably not going to become a millionaire gambling at the casino like I am. I'm just being completely honest. It's possible, but it's probably not going to happen.
All right, let me ask you this. Let's shift a little bit, because I think we spend a good amount of time, and for me, it's very important to like really lay this stuff out. It's almost like when you watch those drug commercials, right? They're like, hey, take this pill, side effects will be blah, 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 right? So kind of the same thing. This is gambling. You got to make sure that you're aware that if you're going to take some coaching program like this, you are literally still gambling. It's a systematic process, and you have your case study that says you've been successful, but it's still gambling. You want to start a business? That's cool. You should find a mentor, somebody who's already done it. But at the end of the day, you still may not be successful at it. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. So let me ask you this, because I like to ask this of people who've made that success. So you made your money. What do you end up buying with that? Do you end up buying a house? Do you end up buying a car? Or does it just kind of stay in your bankroll because now you've just become addicted to making bigger bets?
That's a great question that hardly anyone ever asked me. So you got to remember, when I started gambling, I lost every day for the first 6 months. So that put me in a massive amount of debt. So over the last 3 years, I was able to pay off all of that debt. That was a huge chunk of money. But now I do live in a nice home. And for people who watch my channel, they see me and my family traveling literally every single week. So we stay in very nice hotels. We eat at the finest restaurants. But what a lot of people don't understand, they do see this inside of my elite coaching club. But my wife and I, we give away a lot of our money to help the poor. So we are Christians. We live our lives to give. We are givers. So we build wells in third world countries where people are dying because they don't have water. We build shelters for people who are sleeping on the street. We take a lot of our money and we free innocent little children, sometimes as young as 3, 4, 5 years old, that have been sold into the sex trade industry. So that costs a lot of money. So a lot of our money goes to helping the poor.
And that's, I love that. Commendable for sure, for sure. All right, do you, I love live streaming. One of the cool things that StreamYard has allowed us to do is to stream to multiple platforms at once. So you can be on Facebook, you can be on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. They also allow now a webinar version of it. So you can have people come in that are, part of your inner group, as well as have that audience to watch out and kind of watch your, whatever it is that you're doing. When you put your videos up, are you live streaming or are they pre-recorded? Can people come in and like ask questions during your live stream to kind of, check it out, ask questions about why you're betting that way, and basically get the information that they're looking for? Or on YouTube it's just pre-recorded, it's done, that's it, this already happened?
So yes, on my YouTube channel, all the videos I upload, they were pre-recorded. However, they were pre-recorded live with the members inside of my elite coaching club. So one of the benefits of somebody joining my coaching club is they do get to actually play with me live, face to face, just like you and I are talking. They can ask me questions, and everybody's dream come true. They can literally copy me bet for bet. So there's no thinking involved. They literally say, hey, the GOAT is betting here, I'm going to bet here, and I'm going to bet the same amount. So they get the same results.
All right, because that's kind of, to me, that's important, right? Because I'll give you an example. Like I remember one time I went to Vegas and I was sitting at a poker table, and one night was horrible, sucked. Next night, I had a fat stack of chips, and I took a picture of my little, it's a little shy guy from Mario. I put him on top of the chip stack, took a picture. I was like, this is a good night, right? And it looks cool on Instagram that you have a big old stack of chips. But what people don't really know is that I had lost basically half that, and I made an extra $100 that over that weekend, right? So the chip stack looks awesome, but really the profit is only $100. And it reminds me of like businesses, for example. Businesses love to talk about their top line revenue. Our company is $3 million, but what about the net, bro? Like the net is the important part. So showing that is absolutely vital to me. If I was going to join something like this, I'd have to see some of these case studies, I have to see some of it worked out. And it seems like from what you're telling me, you're able to do that with some of the live streams. So what about any other types of gambling? So you said baccarat, and you moved from blackjack to baccarat. What about sports betting or anything like that? Right now, for example, the World Cup is going on. Is that something that you do as well? Is there a system to that, or is it just some of these other games?
Because I'm honest, which people will tell you I'm not, I'm going to be completely honest. Yes, I do bet on sports. Yes, I am better at betting on some sports than others. The World Cup is in action, and yes, I have bet on the World Cup, and I will be completely honest with your viewers. The World Cup has kicked, I'll do my best to censor what I was about to say. In a nice way, the World Cup has kicked my butt financially. I have not made money betting on the World Cup. It is the first sport that I have actually lost money betting on. So I think it's because World Cup is only once every 4 years. I did not do my due diligence. I did not know much about the teams in the World Cup. So I was not prepared. So I've lost money betting on the World Cup.
Oh, at least you're telling us that you're losing the money, right? That's the hardest thing for a gambler to do, I think. I mean, we always talk about bad beats, but you know, when you're consistently doing it every day, to come home and be like, yeah, babe, blew through a couple grand today. That kind of sucked, right? But at least you're admitting that part, man. Because that's, to me, that's one of the toughest things to do, dude. Is to go in thinking that you're gonna win and then walk out. So let me ask you this: the GOAT. How do you deem yourself the GOAT over time? I mean, dude, to me, a Tom Brady is a GOAT. 7 rings. By the way, I root for him, and I'm not even a Bucks or Patriots fan. It's just like, dude's like 40-something years old, kicking butt with 20-something year olds. I love that. But he earned that GOAT thing. How did you become the GOAT?
Well, that's a great question. And the thing is, I didn't create the GOAT for myself. People watched me, and because I'm so transparent in all my videos, and when people meet me at the casino, people started calling me the GOAT. And when I first heard it, I was like, wow, the GOAT. I'm like, that's pretty crazy. I didn't really believe it at first. And as more and more people kept calling me that, I actually started to believe it. And then as I looked back and I went $500,000 in debt, and I got myself out of debt, and now I'm successfully winning at the casino every single day, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I think I am. But not only that, I've helped thousands of other people all over the world learn how to win at the casinos as well. And that's what the most important thing is, I believe, in order to become the GOAT. Tom Brady, yes, he's great, but how many other people around him did he also make great because they played with him? That's what I consider a real GOAT.
Bro, he made every team he's been on has elevated the people that he's been on. That's what makes him so amazing. I love studying GOATs, man. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tom Brady, like these guys are freaking phenomenal. They got a work ethic like no other, and they come out and raise the bar for everybody who's around them. So if you're doing that for people, I love that. That'll make you go over time. But let me ask you this. Well, I got a question that popped up here that I can actually put up here. What's the best way to avoid paying taxes on money that you make at the casino? Chris, you got an answer for that? Because my background is in taxes, so I'll give my answer. But go for it if you got an answer how you've been doing it.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing your answer. My answer is obviously hire the best tax attorneys and tax advisors and tax strategists that you can afford. That's exactly what I do.
All right, I'm gonna tell you from a tax perspective, you are gonna pay taxes on the wins that you have. Unless you reinvest it, have another business, have other things that you can write off, you're gonna pay taxes on the wins. Now, you're allowed to write off your gambling losses up to the extent of your winnings. So if you're losing as much as you're winning, you're at zero. You means you're not gonna pay any taxes on that stuff. You're a wash, which is great, which is cool. But if you're making money, you're profitable, and you're going to pay the taxes on that profit. So that's the short answer. But definitely talk to your tax accountant, tax attorney, because there's some more little caveats when it comes to writing off some of those gambling losses. So every situation's different. Make sure you talk to your person to get that squared away as well. All right. So I told you there's a lot of stuff going on in the YouTube comment feed. Chris, you're gonna probably want to check that out. And I'll be honest, man, it's coming from people who are hurt, man. It's coming from people who are hurt. And I know from my own personal experience, it's hard to legitimize gambling as a career for me personally. And I commend you for doing it. I even commend you for making it a course that people can benefit from. Hopefully, like you said, you are you are helping people benefit from this, and I appreciate that. But again, we got to deal with the people who didn't win, who didn't follow the system, or who were not able to take that next step. So I'm gonna give you the floor here for the last couple minutes. What's their final thoughts as we exit today on what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how you can get people to come and talk to you, come and work with you?
Yeah, so again, I'm always honest with everybody. To become successful at anything, first of all, very few people will become successful. I mean, to become a Tom Brady, I mean, there's thousands and thousands of people who go play football every single year. Less than 1 in a million are going to become a Tom Brady. I'm going to say the same thing is going to happen for anyone who walks into a casino if you're going to try to get to my level. I'm not the richest professional gambler in the world, at least not yet anyway, but I do this for a living. I do win a lot more often than I lose. But again, I started small and I built my way up to where I am today. And I lost every single day when I first got started. So for all of you people who you might just want to go into a casino or play online just to make a couple extra $100 a month to help, pay off a couple credit card bills or whatever, that's a great place to start. But I will tell you this, don't start gambling, whether online or in a brick and mortar casino, hoping to become a millionaire in the next 6 months, because it's not going to happen. And if anybody tells you that, they're lying to you. This is a business, a serious business. And if you want to become successful in any business, you're going to have to pay the price. There's a learning curve. And yes, the best thing you could do is hire a personal coach who's already successful. And that goes for anything in life. So if you guys do want to make some extra money, if you want to eventually maybe make this a full-time profession, I can help you. And I can definitely shorten the learning curve because I've already paid the price. So you don't have to. You can visit me on my website, ChristopherMitchellTheGoat.com.
Okay, so what he was saying is it's just basically like, to be the GOAT, you got to do the work. Now Tom Brady, his drive, he was watch film after film after film, and he learned defenses, and he's just football was his life. Right? It's just his passion, and he just loves it. And not everybody can watch film like he can. Film after film. He just sit there and watch it and just soak it in. Well, in gambling and in casinos, I did the same thing. I would go buy a roulette wheel, watch the numbers. What is it? Black, red, even, odd? What's the trend? This. I go to another table. A baccarat table. What's it doing? This and that. And I'll go and I'll study and I would read every time I would play. I would look at my scorecards. I was like, oh, what's the pattern? What can I do different? Can I create my own strategy? And then I would practice it. You got to do what you got to do to get to his level, or to a level that you want to go in a casino and win, right? And it's just like anything. Mechanic, do what you want to do to be a mechanic. Pay the price. Learn from the best. Go to a school. Christopher Mitchell doesn't have to be your teacher. There's a lot of videos of people showing stuff. You just want to learn strategies? Well, there's YouTube full of them. There's thousands of them. But if you want to have the right mindset and be at a level like no other, and you rather do it for over a year or two or more, it might take 5 years for you. It's up, however long it takes. This guy will help you get there, and it helped me. I was in it for a year and I got it, and it took a mastermind event for me to click. I was like, I was down there with 9 other people, and some of them didn't do well, and I was like, I was one of 4 that won. I mean, even coach lost. And I know why he lost, and he broke the rules. But when you had a mastermind hang around with a bunch of people, there's going to be some distractions and things are not going to go well. So there's a whole story about that. But he doesn't win every session. But once you get good, you know how to win it back, and that's a skill. And then that's something that you're going to have to learn when you take losses. How you get better. What can you change? What you can tweak? What can I do to get better? And for me, it was just reading strategies. I just try different strategies, tweak it, what fits for me, my style. Now, he's more of an aggressive player. Christopher Mitchell, he's aggressive. And martingale fits him. He loves the martingale. It's a money maker. It is. But if you don't know what you're doing, it can get you in trouble. And it's not for everybody. There's people that hate the martingale. And it's tough. I learned to master it, but I learned to know when to use it. Like when it's when I see the patterns, and once you get to my level and the elite level, I am part of elite level because I paid the price. So you just got to do what you got to do to get there. Now his way may not be your way. You might have to tweak a few things. Like for example, one thing he likes to do is has a vision board, and the vision board doesn't really help me. I mean, if you want a house or a boat or whatever your goal is, what do you want in life? You can do a vision board. Well, that can help you, but I don't need a vision board. To me, what helped me is I just looked at patterns of banker player. What does it do? When does it streak? When does it, does it give me a sign? Is there a clue that things are about to change? And then knowing when to switch strategies, knowing when to stick with it, when to get out, when to get in, all that stuff, it just takes time. It's just practice over and over and over, and you want to do it. It's not like you have to do it. You're going to find out if you want to be it or not, you know. And some people get in the club and they do it for a couple of months, and then they find out like, no, this is not what I want to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes you think you might know what you want to do it, and then you find out like what it takes to do it, and then you're like, nope, I don't have the time for this. and that's okay. It's okay. It's not that Christopher Mitchell lied to you or his stuff doesn't work. If you're not applying it, it's not going to work, you know, just like anything. You know, if you don't do the studies, the time, you know, if you're a heart surgeon or a doctor or a lawyer, you got to do the work to do these cases and help people. And it's just like anything. Any pro basketball player, they shoot shots after shots after shots, ball handling drills. It's the practice, and some people don't have the work ethic. They just don't want it bad enough, and then they can't be as good as, you know, some of the best players and actors and doctors in the world. It's just, now, is he a GOAT? I mean, it's all opinion, you know. But if you have a work ethic like a GOAT, yeah, you could be a GOAT. There's more than one GOATs, you know. So yeah, he's really good at this. It is math, and he'll teach you how to do the math part of it. He breaks it down. You got to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, you're not going to learn anything. So, yeah, you get in his club. You'll have a live face-to-face like you do now. Be online. You get to ask questions. You can type it, and then he'll feedback. And a lot of people will ask questions. You can ask other members who's been in there a while. You can get their how they explain it. He may not explain it as well for you to understand it. Maybe some other member might help you with that. I've had people come to me like, hey, I don't understand this strategy. What am I doing wrong? Like, what was going on when you were playing it? They're like, he goes, what do you mean? I was like, was it streaking? Was it, chopping? And then what was your mindset? Were you scared? Like, were you playing with, emotions? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that, can affect your play to where you might make a wrong decision. You might misplay something if you're distracted or whatever. There's different reasons why things go south, and you just got to learn from them. So so let's get back to it. This is a great interview, and I hope you guys are learning something.
And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, you guys all know we'll give you the warning all throughout this episode. Gambling is still gambling. But if you believe there's a system out there and that's something that you want to do, I'm never going to stop you from taking that leap and going to figure it out yourself. Chris did, and he told you he hit rock bottom. He went completely broke. That's part of the process. I can tell you from my own personal experience, my very first business venture was called PC Cruisers. We cruise to you. We fix computers and we cruise to you. And I went completely broke in that business. So, you can be successful in whatever you go out to, even if it is gambling, but the risks are greater in one thing over another, and it's always great to have a mentor who's already done it. So one more time, if you are interested in going that gambling route, Christopher Mitchell, thegoat.com is where you can check him out. Other than that, Chris, thanks God for being on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, all you on YouTube, dropping comments, thank you guys for being part of the program. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. And we're out. It's over.
All right, guys. So that's Christopher Mitchell, the video, the interview. There's if you go to this website, if you go to this channel, Business Bros Pod, and if you come across this video, you can read the comments. How there's some people that believe, some don't. What I did is I needed to learn for myself. I got in there, and it worked for me. Now, it's not for everybody. Now, there's going to be some people who don't believe. If you don't believe, then you don't believe. Some people believe in ghosts, right? Are there ghosts? Well, if you believe there's ghosts, then there's ghosts. And some people don't believe in ghosts. Now, some people believe in Santa Claus, some don't. It's all what you believe in. Some people believe in this religion, some believe that religion. So just if gambling is something you want to do on the side, or if it's something you're really serious about, roulette and baccarat is his main 2 games. He does sports betting too. He's way better at it now than he was then. It's just like anything else. You just get better at it, you know. He did start with craps, but he doesn't play craps anymore. No, I play all the games. I've learned poker. I've learned craps, blackjack, you know, learn how to count cards. I just want to learn everything about the casinos. I was a dealer. I became a table games dealer. I was the eye in the sky. I was valet. I was security. I mean, I want to know everything about the casino business, and then I want to know what it's like to be a gambler. I mean, I do it all. I mean, I've been doing it for this 20 years. I'm 50 now. I started when I was 21, and when I first started, I was dumb. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I wanted to learn. This is an interest to me. I love doing it. Yeah, I've lost a lot, but I've won a lot. It's just, you know, if this is what you love to do, this is something, yeah, get you a mentor. It doesn't have to be Christopher, but he's there at goatlifebaby.com. Check out his YouTube video. He's got a YouTube channel. It's changed. You know, the website's changed. It's not Christopher Mitchell, the goat.com anymore. He's changed it to Goat Life Baby. So yeah, just go to the website if you want to check it out. See what he offers. If it's like $400 a month, but I'm telling you, if this is what you want to do, give it a whirl. You can easily stop at any time you want. If it's not for you, if his instructions don't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. But yeah, so that's that. I appreciate you guys watching. Yeah, comment below what you think. I know I'm going to hear from both ends. I'm going to hear from the haters. I know it. It's fine. Comment if there's any questions about Christopher, you know, anything like that. I can steer you the right way. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. All right, thanks guys.